Your name and your position you're running for?
Corey Wilson, running for Josephine County Commissioner, Position 1.
All right. So what are the requirements for the position you're seeking?
Requirements are actually very little. Be a Josephine County resident for 6 months, if I remember right, 6 months. Been a resident my whole life. A high school diploma and a U.S. citizen, if I recall. But as I said, the requirements are actually very small.
Okay.
Do you have any experience or education that would apply to the position you're seeking? And if so, what is the company's name or any backup for that? And is there a current conflict possibility, and how could it be resolved?
I do not have any large formal experience managing something this large, obviously. I have a small business in town. I've been a small business owner on and off, we'll say, since 2014. It's retail to the trade sector. Employees, I have less than 10, but I do understand a little bit of management. I've been very fortunate. So I apologize. Your question on the second half there.
Is there a current possibility that any of this, you had conflict?
Conflicts. I don't see any conflicts whatsoever. I am not trying to buy land, not trying to build anything. So currently, no, there's no conflicts. And
so what do you believe are the most relevant issues currently facing Josephine County, and what would be your 6-month plan to tackle those issues?
So economic growth is the biggest one that I see, especially coming from the trade sector. Finding qualified employees is very, very difficult. Everybody wants to leave immediately, it seems like, and the younger people. That's one of my biggest ones. I would like to see the county come up with a economic development advisory board committee that's for the county. The Josephine County Chamber, Grants Pass Chamber has done a great job for a lot of that, but it'd be nice to see the county actually come up with their own advisory board. That would be my very first step. I think economic development will trickle down into, bringing more business, bringing more jobs, a little more infrastructure to the area. Not, without ruining our rural charm is the real challenge. Then that would bring in a larger tax base that will help offset the raising taxes. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. Public safety is obviously always a big one. It's kind of the cornerstone of a thriving community. Everybody wants to feel safe. I would like to see the sheriff's budget be sound and not every 5 years be a struggle. And so a lot more analyzation of their budget specifically. We don't give a lot of the general fund anymore to the sheriff's department, and that's okay as long as they're utilizing their budget effectively. But once again, if we can grow the tax base, I think the budget could grow and we would have a better department. We have way too much land in Josephine County with how few deputies we actually have boots on ground, in my opinion. Everybody remembers, the 2008. Nobody wants to go back to 0 deputies or a 24-hour or a 12-hour patrol 5 days a week, right? So I would really like to see, especially growing up, having a young family, I want to make sure our area is very safe. Those are my 2 biggest priorities right out the gate. On top of that, would be how transparent, and it's kind of a buzzword right now, transparency in government. I don't feel that a lot of times during meetings, public comment happens and then immediately they go into a vote. There's very little extra time to take in what the public is saying in person. Obviously they get an email, they get a call prior, but the notices are so vague, and you get one in the Daily Courier, one posted on a billboard or on the pegboard outside the commissioner's office. It leaves a lot of people out. I would like to see a wider spread of notice, whether that's social medias, more newspapers, or now I guess it's not just newspapers, online news articles. And so that more people have an opportunity to see what's actually going on out there. Because unfortunately, a lot of people don't get to know what's happening until it's too late. until people start making a big fuss about it. So if we can get ahead of the curve and tell people, hey, these are the problems that are happening, here's your time, I think we would have a much better reception than we do now. So some of these votes, like I said, you get your 3 minutes and then they go straight into a vote and you feel like, why did I come here? What was the point? So, like I said, transparency, law enforcement, and economic growth are definitely my priorities right out the gate.
Okay.
How would you interact with other elected officials, both city and county, to achieve positive results, even if you disagree with their positions?
I say disagreement's going to be part of any effective government. No matter what, I don't think you shouldn't have an agreement on everything all the time. That's not how ideas are built. I hope that we have some great ideas and everybody says immediately, oh man, let's go for that. I really do. But if you're not, I wouldn't say debating, but if you're not actually creating some sort of discourse, then how are you going to build a better idea? There's no reason why the county and the city can't communicate, clear, efficiently, and probably more at this point. We're all in this together. But the disrespect that we have seen previously is absolutely unacceptable. And I would not tolerate it by any means.
All right. How will you learn what's important to the citizens of Josephine County, and how will you communicate with them? Conversely, how do you prefer them to contact you?
Currently, the emails and phone calls are always available, from my understanding, on the commissioner board. Then obviously the weekly business sessions are everybody is welcome to come and show. I would like to see satellite meetings or the board actually travel to some of the other communities that they serve. It seems very, very unfair that everybody else has to have the burden of traveling to express their needs or opinions every single time. So, number one, satellite meetings I think would be a big step forward. And I know we've changed now to, we do have our once a month evening sessions, which is a great, there's more people in the last evening session than I've seen in many day sessions. So I'm very happy to see that happening. Social media is kind of a double-edged sword. People like to express themselves a lot, and with every right, but it may not be the most effective way to express, especially if you're trying to get a message to one person, where I don't know if we need to have a singular social media for every commissioner or every elected official, but a generalized Josephine County would be nice, so that could trickle down to the proper person that the message is trying to get to. I personally spend a significant amount of time in around the county talking to people. I love picking brains and talking to people, especially in small business. Always want to know what can be better for everybody. So on the ground, shaking hands, talking to people is a big deal for me. I wouldn't like to give that up. I love talking to people when it comes to how can we be better.
Well, if a debate were arranged today, would you be willing to participate?
I'm sorry.
A debate
Debate?
were arranged, would you participate?
No, definitely, yes.
Great.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the debate part. Once again, I do think it has a place. But I think so a lot of times they turn into a little more of an argument than a debate. But yes, I would participate.
Okay.
Okay, that's most of our questions. Is there anything else you would like to tell the voters about yourself?
I am just an average guy. I never set out to be commissioner or any other elected official or work for government in general. I don't necessarily want to give up all the free time that I have built for myself and my small business, but I would like to make sure that Josephine County is somewhere for my kids to grow up and hopefully build a future for themselves. I'd like to retire here if I can as well. It's a place that I love, and I really hope that I can be helpful and be a representative, not just the guy at the top telling you what to do. I want to help people I want to make sure that we're, here for the long haul, and that Josephine County doesn't just turn into another, bad place. So that would be it.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
That is